Why? Hello and welcome everybody. Sorry if there's a bit of an echo and for all the delay. I'm actually recently gone through a move, so hopefully we can get YouTube back on track, but nonetheless, here we are. So today I wanted to go ahead and kind of talk to you guys about what we've been doing on the stream. I decided to play a little bit of the Gauntlet. For those of you guys who don't know, Zizarin collaborates basically with GGG to host this crazy hardcore event, and I won't really go too much into it because I know you guys definitely know what this is. So what I wanted to go ahead and do is I wanted to actually showcase my character here against one of the harder campaign bosses, which was the Act 9 Trinity fight. I don't think Righteous Fire is necessarily very good for the Gauntlet by any means. With that being said, I don't think it's bad for just trying to complete the campaign so you can, get whatever MTX that people are basically trying to get. I also don't think it's necessarily bad for pushing for level 90, which kind of puts you eligible for some of the raffles. However, it is a terrible actual, I'll say, like, competitor. If you're trying to compete, kill uber bosses and things like that, you will have no hope. But let me explain a little bit about why I feel Righteous Fire is good for the campaign. Now, you pretty much have the defenses of a typical Gauntlet character. So this character runs currently in the campaign, 8 endurance charges, close to 5,000 life, 80 plus max res, higher fire res, physical damage taken as fire from your Ascendancy, bonus on the regeneration. You're a very thick character. However, you get the advantage of whenever you overlevel content, your fire trap is basically like a caster gem, which means as your fire trap keeps leveling, your damage just keeps going up and up and up. So unlike an attack build where you're gated behind getting a good weapon, spellcasters can just literally over level and farm, right? Now again, this falls short when you are in red maps, because you can get your skills to like 16 17 in the campaign, but then you're only going to go from 17 to 20 from red maps, and you need a lot more damage than that, right? So that was the Trinity fight. Honestly, went really smooth. I was told it's a very spooky fight. I would say, if anything, the spookiest fight for this build is Malachi Act 4, and I do have a highlight for that on my Twitch channel that you can go check out. But what we're going to go ahead and do today is I'm just going to show you the character and maps. All I really plan on doing is hitting level 90 and then kind of calling it there. And then I think I might go back to Trade League and mess around with the low life Righteous Fire for a little bit until the POE2 update. So I got a map here. It's a tier 7 map. Haven't completed it yet. We are, of course, over leveled. This is Gauntlet. So we are 86. Still running yellow maps because that's just Gauntlet progression, right? I don't even think I do enough damage to do red maps. And this character is similar to how we play RF Chieftain. You'll notice there are some differences. The primary difference is, instead of going to Templar early, which is basically everything from the Fire Mastery and North, I opted to come down here and grab the Endurance Charge scaling. So this over here gives you 100% charge duration, which means sustaining your charges is very, very easy, especially coupled with the couple of duration nodes you get here. And I guess that's really about it. It's this one, and then I think this one. Yeah. And then what's nice here is you get like some armor per endurance charge, some AoE per endurance charge, and you can just have a lot of life on the character. The next pivot for me here from 86 to like 90 plus would be getting full life masteries. So that would be, basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So life mastery here, life mastery here, life mastery here, life mastery here. And then, I don't know if I counted 5, I may have missed one. I'm pretty sure that we have enough. Otherwise, we can come over here, or we can come over here, but I'll be done with the character by then. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. Here are my current stats if you wanted to look through them. Character honestly feels pretty thick. Because I know people will ask, I'm just going to go ahead and jump into the Ascendancy order and kind of what I did. So I started with Ancestral Endurance, and you don't really have a good way to get endurance charges until you get Inexorable, so you'll be using Enduring Cry. And then you get Ancestral Defiance, which is like a miniature Defiance of Destiny, which is so good, especially when you're pre-block cap, so very, very good. Then I opted to grab Born Under Fire for Fizz taken as fire. The reason I didn't go for this first is in the campaign in Gauntlet, mobs actually have penetration pre-Act 5, so if you take this as your first thing, it might actually be like a net loss for you. I don't know if that's good. But after that, everything's good. And then this one is kind of like the Jug node. So the Jug node basically makes it so we don't get slowed by a lot of stuff. So that's really nice. Because the damage is really poo-poo, you really lean on Infernal Cry for those bigger packs, and that's the one on my spacebar here. Infernal Cry, essentially, like if I press it here, it's kind of hard to see, but basically it makes the mobs do like a really miniature Hinakora pop. So see this big blue pack here? That's basically what it does. It's a nice, you know, it's basically what we used to use whenever we didn't play Chieftain, but now that we have Chieftain, we have our built-in explodes, and you can still use it on Chieftain. It's just, to me, it's a little like outdated technology. It's much better on the other Ascendancies, I would say. Previously, Infernal Cry also used to give cover in Ash, so it kind of was just an offensive button, and then they removed that, so, you know, that's kind of sad. Other than that, the character is built very similar to how we build a Chieftain, right? And then, of course, if you're very new, you cannot copy one for one because you still need to build all of the resistances. It's not just like you stack fire res, right? And then the other key difference is because we don't have Ramako Sun's Light, which is the node that makes it so whenever you are standing still, mobs have -20 res. This means that we still want to use our curse like Flammability, and we want to use Combustion on our Fire Trap instead of, I don't know what we'd use instead. I think Swift Affliction, maybe? So this is the more classic way of playing RF. I say classic, which RF Chieftain is now the classic, so maybe that's a little confusing. But basically, if you're not a Chieftain, you build kind of like the same way. But if you are a Chieftain, you have kind of your own way of gearing, specifically because of the Fire Res gearing and Ramako Sun's Light, right? I don't know if I should be doing this, to be honest. Seems a bit spooky. I keep forgetting we're playing HC. Oh, we'll probably be fine, right? Yeah, we'll be okay. Another advantage, I'd say, to RF in the Gauntlet, and again, when I say advantage, I'm just talking about low-level stuff, nothing like actually competing, right? Is because you're promoted to make your characters more tanky. What is a good way to make your character more tanky? You stack life. Well, life also increases RF damage, so it really gives you a nice sense of progression in the campaign. But I will say, and I will not stress this enough, Act 1 is brutal with this character if you don't know what you're doing. And the reason I say this is because Caster Marauder is already a tough archetype for players in Act 1. Gauntlet just capitalizes on that even more. So you definitely want to make sure that you are getting like your goat horns, for example. Those are the ones with the implicit for fire damage. You want to make sure you're over leveling if you feel a bit weak. You want to make sure you have intelligence so you can actually level your skills up. So these are things that will really kind of set you up for success, but you do have to be patient. You know, Gauntlet's not a... I mean, everyone calls it a race, and it is a race, but for us who are playing casually, it's not a race, you know? It's a marathon. It's how ZDPS can you get to level 90? That's basically what your goal is. Alright. Here's the boss. I don't know how we do against the boss. We'll have to see. It's a degen boss, and I'm going to be honest, our regen is not very good right now. We don't have like Immortal Flesh or anything. My gear is extremely poo-poo. Let's see. We're just gonna grab the mobs. Infernal Cry. I did like 2 damage. Which actually hurts me. Not too much though. Not too much. Just a little. Yeah, okay, we can do this. Okay, no problem. Yeah, that's pretty much the character. There's this really cool website we've been using of recently. I'm just gonna go plug it. Give me 1 second. So instead of like making a POB, because I'm going to be honest, I'm kind of winging it and it takes a little while to make a beginner-friendly POB. I just don't really want to do that. There's this website we've been using called POE Snipe, and essentially it snapshots your character. So I'll just link this, and you can see how the skill tree is starting to fill out, right, like this. You remember how at the beginning of the video I said don't go Templar early? Yeah, that's because I went Templar early, and then you could see I made a mistake, and then I respected. So it's actually a really cool website. I'll be trying to plug this a little more often now. It shows the gear progression. It shows the tree progression. It shows like your stats. It even shows the Ascendancy. If you look here, let me go back a little. You can see it's taking this right here first, and then it goes into the next one. It's a really cool website. So I'll have to use this more. It doesn't really matter too much for me when I play RF. It's still nice for people to see. I'd say this website's better for when I play like maybe more niche characters and I don't have fleshed out leveling things. Then people could use this and say like, oh, okay, that's what they're using. So I'm really liking POE Snipe. Anyway, that's pretty much about it. Just to give you guys a sneak peek of the character that I really want to make a video on. It's like two weeks overdue. I'm just going to go plug in the character in Mercenaries real fast. This is the low-life RF character that has been kind of, it's been juiced up quite a bit. We're close to about a mirror investment. We played it a lot before Gauntlet. up to 32.5k ES. I'll give you a quick tease of the AoE. All right, that's pretty much about it. Hope you guys had a wonderful time. Hope you guys enjoyed yourself. Remember, if you did, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget, you can catch me streaming live every day but Sundays at twitch.tv/Pohx. See you guys all tomorrow.